Thank you for tuning in to Radicards TV on Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Greeno, and this is my buddy, Dan G.
How's it going, Pat?
Hey, Dan, how's it going?
Doing well.
How's your summer?
It's good. You know, a lot of stuff going on, but, you know, it's kind of a relief not having to be working right now and being able to spend some time with family and do some trips and so forth. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
It's been finally warmed up.
Yeah, oh, man, it's miserable.
We had a weird June. It was, like, cold for a while.
Yeah, it was pleasant.
Yeah, it's nice. So, what'd you bring for us today?
So I brought a 1999 Topps Stars Supernova McGwire insert. They're numbered to 299. They have a pretty cool foil front, right? It's kind of hard to see in the case, but you know, pretty cool. And one of the things I really love about them is the actual numbering. It's kind of hard to see, but it's almost like it's embossed into the back of the card, as opposed to like a foil stamp. Yeah. You know, so you have to kind of look, and I don't know if I turn it a little bit, different angles, it's visible, but you know, I kind of like that. I think it's cool. So I've always kind of liked this set. Yeah. And some of the other, you know, parallels and inserts that are in the set. Right. Some of those things are hard to find too. Very. I know this one has a different version of this parallel. Yes. It's much harder to get. So, and it's the hyper foil or something like that. So the way it goes with this is that there are different stars. Mm-hmm. Okay, 1 through 4. But that's on the base cards. And they're foils of all those. Right. And the 4-star foil is numbered to I think 49 or 99. Now, come to think of it, I have to go back and look. But that's the hardest one. Right. And the Supernova subset in the set have this is the foil version of the. Well, I guess this would be the. So it doesn't have a star, but this would be the, like your basic McGwire card would have those parallels. Right. Well, and the subset has like the non-foil and the foil. Right. I thought there were only 2 versions of the Supernova. Yeah, there might be for this one. And then the foil. So that's the foil. Yeah. What you have is the foil. But then there's like a hyper foil that's numbered to like 70 or something like that. Okay, that I don't know. Yeah. But to my understanding, because Thomas he's in the subset as well, and he has the foil and non-foil. Mm-hmm. And so the foil is the one that's got the serial number on it. Mm-hmm. Now in the base run, his base card, not the subset card, has all the 1 through 4, and then each of them has the foil parallels, and those are the ones that have the serial numbers embossed into the card in the back. And so this one actually has the serial numbering on it to 299. Yeah, it's one of those cards that you might find in bargain bins because people won't notice the serial numbers. Yeah. That's the beauty of these. Like, if you have to know that you're looking at the foil version, the foil parallel, knowing that it's the rare 299 version. And then just a quick glance at the back, and you'd be like, I mean, if you're not aware that it's down there, you wouldn't know that it's totally. And you know, this is something that I learned later, after I acquired mine. Like, I must have acquired mine in 2003, and I didn't find out that there was a stamping on the bottom until many years later. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, if you look closely, it's stamped. Right. I didn't realize it. So it took me a number of years to figure out the what's what of 1999 Topps Stars base stuff, all the different parallels. And so I really like this set a lot. The set is really unique in that they have some really elusive insert sets, like Galaxy. Right. What's the other one that Thomas is in? There's one called Supernovas. There's like an insert set called Supernovas, and those are like the top stars, right? And I think there's one called, gosh, now I can't even think about it now. Luminari. That's what it is. And those ones, they come in bronze, silver, gold, and then a gold rainbow. Wow. And the gold rainbow is numbered to 5. And the bronze, silver, gold goes, I think it's 175.50. Mm-hmm. And so you've got a lot to chase if your guy's in any of those. Right. Even, you know, bronze, silver, and gold, just those are hard to find. But, you know, and if you're lucky in your lifetime, you might see your player's gold rainbow. Right. It's one of those, like, super, ultra, highly elusive cards. And I want to say that the gold rainbow parallels of those inserts have the highest insertion ratios of any parallel in all of 90s inserts. Wow. I want to say that they're that hard to get. Wow. So
This is really interesting stuff. I'm glad you brought this by.
So I was going through the McGwire stuff this summer, and I was going through this part of the collection, and I realized that I have the different star levels. Except for I don't have the base without the star.
Oh.
I was like, this is the most common one to find, but I don't have it. And then I don't obviously have the foil versions of all of them.
Those are the hard ones to get.
Yeah, but I was like, how do I not have the base one, right? And I found, I think it's the 98 Topps Finest with McGwire and I think it's Frank Thomas, where they're side by side. It's a sideshow.
It's a panel.
Yeah.
And one's refractor, one's not. The other one's refractor, the other one's not, and then they're both refractored.
So I have all of the variations except for just the full refractor version.
That's a hard one to get. That's a hard one to get.
No, I'm sorry. I have all of them but the refractor version. So I have all of the hard ones, but I don't have the easiest one to find. So the non-refractor version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm missing. And I was like, how is this possible?
I mean, I sometimes will hop on CMC and like go through stuff, and I'll see cards. I'm like, I don't know if I have, but it's like a base card.
Yeah.
It's like Topps Total.
Right.
And I'm like, why don't I have that card? And so I'll cherry pick it because
most
stuff
makes it easy.
Most stuff I have of his base of most of his career year stuff, and so when I get to find something I don't have that's a base card, I'm like, man, I've bought so many lots over the years. I've acquired most of this stuff. Why haven't I acquired this Topps Total card? And so CMC is really great for that in that way. But yeah, sometimes we find the hardest stuff first, and then we cherry pick the easy stuff to finish it off, to round it out.
Well, I think also part of it is when you're digging through boxes, you don't want to spend, $1 for that card or something. You're like, I'll get it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a quarter card.
Yeah.
Or less.
Yeah.
It's a card you want to find and block.
Right. But then at the same time, you end up not having it, and you're like, how is that even possible? So
I know it, man. It's fun though. It's just cool. Thanks for bringing this by. Sure. This is a good. I like 99 Top Stars. It's a really great product with lots of interesting things. And I think that what I'm talking about with those parallels and those inserts, those come from the 98 Top Stars run, not 99. 99 has some other things that are interesting. Off the top of my head now, I can't even think about it, but I think all the stuff I was talking about earlier was from the 1998 release of Top Stars. That's true, because the Ryan Leaf is in that, and that would be one of his key rookie year cards, and I bought it. So what I'm talking about, the Galaxy Supernova and what's the third one?
It slipped my mind again.
What's the little bags you put out in the Christmas time? Luminaries. Yeah, that's what it is. So. It's come from 98, but whatever the case, it's Top Stars. That release from Topps, I've always liked.
Yeah.
Because of their elusiveness, because of how hard and difficult stuff is to understand and track down.
Right.
But it's still manageable. They're not like 80 parallels. They're like 8.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So it becomes kind of like fun without becoming too exhaustive.
Yeah.
So.
And they're different enough that you can actually start, telling. With the base cards, you see that there's the swinging shot, and it's zoomed in
more and more.
Yeah.
I like that. It's really cool. Yeah. It's a great product. Thanks for bringing that by.
Sure.
This one here came in the mail like this, so just pardon the tape over the top of this this magnet. We're gonna talk about this card, but I'm gonna release it from this magnet and put it archive it accordingly, but. When I showcase this, there's some gnarled tape on the top of this, so just bear with me. That's how I got it in the mail. I'm just gonna showcase it as it is. So several months ago, we're gonna talk about Pete Kozma. He played for the Cardinals for a couple of years,
right?
And then he got demoted to the minors after a short time. But some months ago, his 07 Bowman Chrome Superfractor Auto was on eBay for $150, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's a good bin. It's a little high for what it is. I think it wouldn't sell for that at auction, but I'm gonna watch it. And then as I was watching that, I was like, well, I'm gonna see where this Bregman orange refractor goes, and it ends tomorrow. And if it ends higher than beyond my range, I'll buy the Kozma. While I was waiting, Kozma sold. I was like, oh,
that happens.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I got to be more vigilant, more like aggressive with one of ones in that capacity.
Right.
Focus on like, okay, Bregman orange is to 25 and I already have 2 of them. Do I need a third?
Yeah.
You know, I could have gotten this like one of one Kozma and it was high, but it would have made more sense because it's a one of one. So I was like, well, darn. And so I was kicking myself like, oh, I should have gotten that, but whatever. You know, hindsight's 20/20. A couple months pass, and actually I didn't even put that image on my Pinterest. And now I can't even find it. It's not anywhere. So it's kind of too bad. But a couple months go by, and this 2007 Bowman Sterling red one of one surfaces, and I'm like, it's the same image. It's one of one. It's autographed just like a superfractor. It's like Bowman Sterling's their reply to the superfractor.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'm going to try to get this one. This was auction style for 99 cents. And when it closed, it was less than $20.
Oh, nice.
I was like,
yeah.
Easy, right?
Yeah.
So I got this for less than 20. I was thinking like, well, if that sold for less than 20, the superfractor at auction would have had to sell for less than 50, right?
I think.
Right? So, but it sold at auction. It sold as a bin at 150. And I'm thinking, that's somebody must have wanted it.
Yeah. But
if this were at 150 at a bin, I don't know if I would have bought it or not. It's hard to say. But I'm glad that I got this card because it's kind of like makes up for the fact that I didn't pay enough attention to the superfractor when it went in auto, which was I think slabbed BGS 9.5 or so. It was a nice card. It would have been a great card to have. This card is interesting. Kozma was in the World Series. It was his team against the other team,
right?
And then his team lost, but there was a bid board at a card shop in Woodland Hills, California. Went up there and got the base auto of this card on the board for like I think $7 or $11. I don't remember what it was, somewhere between there. And that was when they were still contenders for the World Series. I was like, well, if they win the World Series, I can turn this around and make a profit. They lost the World Series. So I was like, what am I going to do with this card? And then he got demoted, and I couldn't sell it, so I ended up selling him, and I threw it into a lot of autographed cards and just sold a whole lot on eBay.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, maybe if I find a nice parallel of the card, I'll cherry pick it. Then this is that card.
Cool.
So I was happy to get it. Here's the back. If you wanted to see the back, it's not that interesting in comparison to the front, anyway. But
there's a stamp on the back or the front.
The stamp is on the back, on the bottom. So this will end up in a Card Saver 1. And it'll go and get archived into my collection accordingly. But I think Bowman Sterling did a pretty fine job this year. The Hayward of this card was on eBay for a long time and it finally sold.
Really?
Yeah, the one of one. It was a BGS, it was PSA 9, I think. And I watched it for years before it finally sold. But, I mean, good for the buyer, right? And so this is kind of a nice ad for my collection. And as I said, I got it in this case, so pardon this tape and everything else. It's kind of, I know it's not the most appealing thing, but it's safe to ship, so I'm glad the seller shipped it this way to me. But yeah, cool stuff. I just want to talk about that because Pete Kozma, while not a superstar in any capacity, I do remember him being kind of a conversation point during that year that I had acquired his the base version of this card.
Cool.
So, yeah, there you have it. This is the 2007 Bowman Sterling Red Pete Kozma prospect card. He hadn't made his rookie appearance until 2011, so he still had some years to go before he was officially a major leaguer. But just wanted to grab this. This is a nice ad for less than 20. Thought that was a really good buy. So, Dan, you have any final thoughts?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Thank you for watching Radicards TV on Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Greeno. Thank you, Dan G, for joining me.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Until next time, enjoy collecting.
Take care.
If you like this content, please subscribe. Thank you. Enjoy collecting.